Hey, Coach. This is Mitch Mason, the FCA football chaplain here at the University of North Carolina. I want to talk to you today about the third tier in the 3D coaching pyramid, coaching from the heart. You know, Proverbs 4:23 says to guard your heart with all diligence, for out of it springs the issues of life. I love the New Living Translation that says, guard your heart with all diligence, for it determines the course of your life. You know, that's pretty strong. All throughout Scripture, God talks about the conditions of our heart, guarding our heart, watching over our heart. So I think if it's important to Him, it should be important to us. You know, in this arena of coaching, particularly college football here, I see so many coaches, good men, love the Lord, have a relationship with Jesus Christ. I see so many of them let the guard down. And they let men who, although they may be popular, they're not men of character. They're not men who publicly display and talk about the relationship with Jesus Christ. They let those men come in and negatively influence their heart, which in turn influences their walk, and it hinders their overall influence on their players. And we all know that players will not follow someone that they do not respect. And so that coach doesn't fulfill that godly dream, that godliness that the Lord has placed on him to be an influence in his realm of coaching football. And, you know, I see that so many times. It takes courage to follow God. It takes courage to follow the convictions of our heart. But God is looking for men of good courage. He's looking for men that will obey Him no matter the cost. I think about David. I think about David when he went out to fight Goliath. Here, the armies of Israel are on one side. Here's a valley. And on one side is the army of Israel. And on the other side is the army of the Philistines. And in the middle is this giant named Goliath. And Goliath goes and he's taunting the army of Israel for 40 days. And as he's taunting them, he's saying, hey, send a man out to come fight me. And for 40 days, King Saul and the rest of the army would not go. As a matter of fact, the scripture says over in 1 Samuel 17 that they were afraid. But one man wasn't afraid, and that was David. And I love David because his passion to honor the Lord, to serve the Lord, was such an influence. Well, David is on his way out to fight Goliath. You all know the story. I want to present it to you from a different angle. He's on his way out to fight Goliath. And as he's on his way out, King Saul, who, keep in mind, for 40 days would not dare go out and fight him. David is on his way out. And the king says, hey, David, as you're on your way out, I want you to put on my armor. Here's my helmet. Here's my armor. And take my sword as well. David wants to honor the king, so he puts it on. And I love the scripture that it tells us that as David put on the king's armor, he's walking around, but he wasn't used to them. I love it because the scripture tells us that David wasn't used to them. They hadn't been proven. They hadn't been tested. So David took them off. And I love that because that shows the courage that David had. You know, so many of us today, we're out going to fight a giant. We're out going to do something huge and something big and for the Lord, and yet we're trying to do it in someone else's armor. We're trying to do it the way someone else does it. God is not looking for men who want to be copycats. He's looking for men of courage, men of conviction that will do it His way. So, coach, my challenge to you, my encouragement to you today is to coach from your heart. Take the armor off of someone else. Take that nonsense of that negative influence, that ungodliness, take that off and coach the way God has given you the ability to coach. And I can promise you, if you do it that way, your influence will grow and you will impact so many kids. God bless you, coach. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time.